Two police officers shoved a black woman against the hood of their car, their voices dripping with contempt. "People like you never learn," one muttered. She didn't flinch. She didn't argue. Her eyes, steady and unshaken, carried a quiet strength. Moments later, they would discover the truth that would turn their arrogance into fear. She wasn't just anyone. She was the judge who would decide their fate. The late afternoon sun painted long shadows across the quiet street as two police officers dragged a black woman toward their cruiser. Their faces carried arrogance, their tone sharp and dismissive. Passers-by slowed, some pulling out phones, others lowering their eyes, unwilling to intervene. The woman did not resist. She did not cry out. Her silence was not weakness, it was strength. Her calm gaze unsettled even the officers who thought they held all the power. In that silence lived a truth neither of them could imagine. She wore a simple navy dress, its sleeves slightly wrinkled, a leather bag clutched to her side. Nothing about her revealed her status, her sacrifices, or the weight she carried within. To the officers, she was just another face, another target for their prejudice. But her story was far deeper than their shallow assumptions. Years earlier, she had walked the halls of law schools where her presence was questioned at every turn. Professors doubted her. Classmates whispered about her background. She carried the echoes of a childhood where her parents worked double shifts just to keep the lights on, teaching her that dignity was not given. It was earned. At night, she studied under the dim light of a single lamp, fighting exhaustion, chasing a dream no one believed she deserved. Every page of law she memorized, every case she dissected, became a weapon forged in silence. Her journey was marked not by applause but by isolation. Yet she pressed on, carrying with her the unspoken words of her ancestors. Stand tall, even when they try to break you. Now, as the officers tightened their grip, the weight of years pressed back against their ignorance. The woman remained unshaken, her silence more piercing than any protest. A young boy on the corner clutched his mother's hand, whispering, "Why don't they stop?" His mother only shook her head, her eyes glistening with the pain of recognition. The officers smirked, confident in their authority. But arrogance often blinds men to the storm they are about to face. Inside the courthouse the next morning, those same officers stood stiff in their uniforms. They adjusted their belts, unaware of the eyes soon to judge them. The heavy doors opened and the room hushed. The black woman they had mocked, shoved, and handcuffed entered, this time draped in the black robe of her calling. Every step she took was steady, deliberate, echoing louder than any accusation. The officers froze, their confidence collapsing in an instant. Their faces drained of color as realization struck. This was no stranger. This was the judge presiding over their case. The room seemed to hold its breath. She did not need to raise her voice. She did not need to shame them. Her presence alone delivered the verdict. With calm authority, she looked upon the men who had belittled her and spoke with a clarity that pierced through the silence. Respect is not given by a badge. It is revealed by our actions. One officer shifted uneasily, his arrogance dissolving into regret. The other lowered his gaze, unable to meet the eyes of the woman who now held the power of justice in her hands. In that moment, the entire courtroom witnessed the reversal of roles. The oppressed became the judge. The oppressors stood exposed, stripped of their false power. And yet, she carried no bitterness in her voice. Only truth. Only dignity. Only the strength of someone who had endured the fire and emerged unshaken. Dignity, she continued softly, is silent until tested. And when tested, it speaks louder than hate. The words lingered long after the gavel fell. Outside, people spoke of the story in hushed awe. A child would remember the woman who stood strong without a shout. Strangers who once stayed silent now whispered about change. Her victory was not just her own. It was a reminder to all who watched that silent strength is never weakness. That dignity, though quiet, can bring even the proudest to their knees. And as she left the courtroom, the air seemed lighter, carrying with it the unshakable truth. Justice may bend, but it does not break. Stories like this remind us that silent strength can change the course of justice. What did you feel while listening? Share your thoughts in the comments, tell us where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful true-to-life stories.